Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill has a familiar look to me. Looks an awful lot like a placeholder bill. Usually when we get these generic titles, they are very much that. An act concerning Veterans Affairs in Connecticut.
Yes, this is a placeholder bill. It is my hope that there's going to be a great number of bills that pass out of this committee bipartisanly and unanimously. And as is the history of this committee, to have the majority of bills that pass out of this committee being bipartisan and unanimous. In the last couple of years, there have been several bipartisan unanimous bills, good bills with small fiscal impacts that just were lost to time.
We have a process in place. We have public hearings. We talk about specific issues. They're put into these bills. We have an ample amount of time to get stuff done. It's how much do we want to work to make sure that that happens.
That's part of the process. I would say it's a disservice to the people. It's a service to us today. We're going to be here a long time, and we get paid and we will work. But I don't think it had to be this way. I'll be honest. I think there's a lot of excuses, but we could have been further along in the process and not have to. What I would say in some situations, like what we're going to talk about in HB 5002, is jam bills through and do as dummy bills. There's 10 lines in this bill. It's the number one bill for the House Democrats. The number one bill, you have 10 lines. To me, that's embarrassing. I would be embarrassed if I put that bill out there. It's frustrating that we're going to be voting on a bill that has 10 lines, that has nothing in it.
So we're looking at some dummy bills. What is the process for a dummy bill? What happens with it then at that point after it passes out of committee? There's no language in it. There's nothing really there.
Senator Kushner?
I assume the question is meant to, or an explanation for the public who might be listening, because I think this is a process that is very well known to all of the legislators. Essentially, this moves on, becomes a vehicle for amendment that could take place on the floor of either chamber. That would provide us the opportunity to insert important from my point of view, important legislation that perhaps had not had a place in a previous bill. Sometimes it's the result of modifying a bill that was contained in another, using this vehicle to put forward legislation that may have been in a bill with, many more issues discussed in, and we sometimes say, let's take this piece out and put it in a separate bill. So there are different ways in which a placeholder bill can be used, but it always will end up coming before the chamber.